want to get into what the restrictive laws are that are on the ballot in these states that are coming up next week. At least 6 states enacted laws to tighten voter list maintenance, meaning they purged voters from the rolls. Several states limited voting locations. 6 states passed laws restricting mail voting, and Utah eliminated universal mail voting altogether. So Utah used to be that everyone was automatically registered to vote by mail. They have now eliminated that, so you have to opt in. And then Utah, Kansas, and North Dakota are shortening the deadlines to return your mail-in ballot. So there's no grace period.
What's funny about that is Donald Trump for all these years has been mailing in his ballots. He used the mail-in. I usually go do early voting, but he was using mail-in. So what was so wrong with it? There's nothing wrong with mail-in ballots. They do mail-in ballots in California, and nothing's wrong with it. Nothing's wrong with mail-in ballots, you know. And then when they even talked about the cheating going on in mail-in voting, mailing in your ballots, they didn't find, it wasn't no huge number of people that were cheating or dead. He always said they was dead too.
Well, Donald Trump is very much a okay for me, but not for thee kind of person. He can do whatever the hell he wants, but the rules have to be different for the rest of us.
I don't respect him. Some of the stuff I say I have to keep to myself because he gonna come over my house. See, he gonna come to my house because I get upset with him and I want to say stuff. This will be live. Next thing you know, he said, "What happened to Andrea?"
On mail-in voting, there is something to be very careful about because the post office is actually changing how they process mail. So let's watch a quick video on that.
Mm-hmm.
But here, you may have to mail it in sooner for it to count. Ballots must get postmarked on Election Day, but the Secretary of State and the California Attorney General are warning your ballot may not get postmarked on Election Day if you are 50 miles from the Postal Service hub. Now, we only have 2 of these hubs in all of Northern California. So look at this map right here. Are you within 50 miles of West Sacramento or Richmond? If you are, make sure you mail it in the Monday before the election to get it postmarked on time to count. That's if you're not within 50 miles of those locations. This impacts voters in Stockton, Modesto, Tracy, Lake Tahoe, Colfax, Colusa, all around there, all 50 miles or more from a regional center. So why the change? Well, the Postal Service announced the changes in April as part of its Delivering for America plan to be financially stable over the next 10 years.
So if you're going to use the Postal Service, make sure you put it in the day before so it can be postmarked. Make sure if you walk into it the day of, you're going to go inside the Postal Service and ask them to stamp your ballot for you, and they will. You also want to make sure if you want to put it into our box, our voting box, those big boxes we have, they will be counted on that day. So we have more ways, more days, and anything you can imagine to basically vote. No one has an excuse for not voting in California.
I do love California.
Another video to watch, I found this woman on TikTok. She's a politics girl. She's really good. This is about what's happening in Georgia.
Georgia.
What's up, America?
This is my real house and I'm trying to do right, but there are people who walk through my scene. Keep it moving.
Bye. That was my husband.
If you live in Georgia or know someone who does, then this is for you. In late August, Georgia removed over 471,000 people from their list of registered voters. So if you are a Georgia voter, please check your status immediately. Even if you voted before or you vote in every election, your name could have been taken off the list without your knowledge, and those who are looking to suppress your vote are counting on you not to check. I need you to check. To be clear, this is exactly why we need to reinstate the protections of the Voting Rights Act. When the Supreme Court started gutting key parts of the Voting Rights Act, it meant that states, especially states who have a history of voter suppression, no longer had to check with anyone before they made changes, which meant they could do what they are doing now: purging voters, changing rules, making it harder to vote, removing drop boxes, challenging registrations, and certain states have been doing it aggressively ever since. So do not let them take your vote. Stay registered, stay informed, stay aware. Remember, if your vote didn't count, they wouldn't be trying so hard to take it from you.
That's right. And John Lewis said we need to get in good trouble.
That's right.
We have to be willing to get in good trouble. I mean, it makes us speechless because we've seen what he's done.
I was going to ask you if you have seen, I mean, aside from like when they passed the Voting Rights Act in the 60s, have you seen them try this hard to keep people from voting?
This is the hardest I've ever seen. I've never seen them hate I want to say blacks, but they hate everybody. They hate everybody, but just people that consider themselves white and from white descent. I don't know what white is and white descent because all of them are immigrants too. They weren't from this country. Matter of fact, they say there were black people here before white people came over from Europe.
I just want to reiterate, one, you have to get your ballot in time if you're mailing it. Don't wait until the day of to mail it, just to be on the safe side, because the post office does not guarantee they're going to postmark it the same day. So at least mail it the day before.
You can early vote until this Friday.
Depending on where you live, some states will allow you to early vote up until the day before.
Okay, ours, Texas is till Friday.
Yeah. And then the other thing is make sure that you are registered. Just because you were registered last time does not mean you're registered this time. They are purging people from the voting rolls, so make sure that you're registered. Take care of that now. So a couple other things I want to mention about restrictive voting laws is 6 states tightened voter ID requirements. So Indiana is no longer allowing student IDs as an acceptable form of ID if you want to vote. West Virginia only now accepts photo ID. Say again?
I said, but it's a state issued ID though. School IDs are state issued ID.
They're not accepting Indiana anymore. They want to make it harder for students to vote. Because who votes? Who's more likely to vote for Democrats? Younger people.
I told my granddaughter it was her first time voting, and they made me leave because I said, "Make sure you vote for Kamala." And they made me leave.
Yeah, you can do that. And then there are states like also Indiana, Wyoming, and Tennessee that are now requiring proof of citizenship. So like a passport or birth certificate just to register to vote, even though there is no widespread evidence of non-citizens voting.
Like you said, make sure you vote. And, I don't know what else to say about that. Just you got to get out.
People need to vote. The more people that get out to vote, the harder it is for them to pass, to one, elect people like this, and two, to pass laws that don't benefit us.
And he wants a third term.
And he wants a third term. We're not going to let that happen.
No. I'll have Obama do a term, but I won't have him do no third term.
I do want to share some good news. There are some states that are trying to make it easier to vote. So these are states that have done things to make it easier to vote in 2025. Colorado established a state Voting Rights Act to eliminate barriers for people of color. They expanded the use of multilingual ballot access, so now they have ballots in more languages. At least 8 states have passed laws that expand access to mail-in voting.
I was going to say I noticed that Texas was on both maps, on the ones that restrict voting and the ones that don't. I mean,
it's kind of
noticed it was on both. I'm like, wait, now Texas is on both maps now. One that restricts it and one not restricting it. So they confused.
Rhode Island now allows voters to apply to be on a permanent mail voting list. And Connecticut is requiring that polling places allow curbside voting, so you can vote from your car. Hawaii and Idaho extended mail-in registration deadlines, and 8 states have increased voter registration opportunities. And several restrictive laws, like in Kentucky and Ohio, also contain some expansive provisions, like expanding eligibility for early in-person voting or allowing you to register to vote at the DMV. So it's not all bad.
Well,
Well,
the one thing I saw, excuse me, was in Texas too, I want to say, and this was positive as well, is when I went to early vote, I went to the senior citizen at the Lions Center, and they had where you could have drive-through voting for the handicap again.
no, that's great.
So you could drive through and vote, and you didn't have to get out your car. So I thought that was wonderful.
And it should be easier to vote. Like Jazzy said earlier, like election day should be a holiday across the country.
Mhm.
I think it was Katie who told us recently that Pennsylvania has election day as a holiday. The rest of us were like, what? We don't have that.
Yes, I was thinking just then is if they really put effort into having fair voting and equal rights voting, that we would get more people that would be fair and have equal rights. I don't think it would always be like it is today. There's got to be it's them against us. It shouldn't be them against us. It should be we want to have more people that want to come into, say, the Republican Party or to the Democratic Party, or if you want to be an independent, and just be fair and all of us go to school and have, all of us get educated. I never heard a person say that he liked dumb people. I never heard that. And that he want us to have the lowest scores in the world for education. I never heard nothing like that.
The only kind of people that want dumb people are people who want to take advantage of dumb people.
That's right.
It's evil.
You want to take advantage of dumb people? No.
Maureen
That's-
mentions that California has a law that an employer must allow 2 hours of paid leave to vote. I know that also some jobs will have some kind of voting allowance. My job, I think, allows up to 4 hours to vote on election day. So make sure you check that too. If you want to vote on election day, see if your work will allow you to take time off to vote. I think a lot of states have some kind of requirement for that, but you can also vote early.
I like early voting because, when I walk in, I'm the first one in line. It wasn't nobody there. I got in there, I voted, and the man was, flirting with me, and I was happy. And so they got to make old people feel good. So it was a senior center.
Wait, what? Who's old? Who's old over here?
Okay now. I know you being nice now. What's funny? You being nice now. I like you.
So I want to talk about in our next segment, I want to talk about what's actually at stake, what is on the ballots. So I'm going to play a video with a gentleman talking about what some of the nearly 600 ballots measures are.
Research, there are over 600 ballot measures set to appear on this November's ballot, spanning across 24 different states. You heard that right. That's nearly 600 opportunities at the state, city, county, and local level for voters to have a direct say on proposals like building new schools, banning alcohol on Sundays, or instilling ranked choice voting for future elections. So with that in mind, here are 3 things to know about ballot measures and referenda set to appear on the ballot this November 4th. According to our research, there are 24 statewide ballot measures set to appear this November, including 17 in the state of Texas alone. And while everyone, understandably, has their attention on California's Proposition 50, a response to recent redistricting moves taken by Texas Republicans, I've got my eye on 2 statewide measures in the swing state of Maine. The first tightens requirements on voter ID laws and restricts absentee voting in the state. The second allows courts to prohibit firearm access for individuals they deem as dangerous, also known as red flag laws. On both issues, voters tend to fall on partisan lines. In addition to high-profile mayoral and city council elections, New York City voters also have a number of ballot measures to reckon with this year. That includes a measure to shift future city elections from odd-numbered years to even-numbered years. In fact, should it be passed and implemented, and should frontrunner Zohran Mamdani win the upcoming mayoral election, he will face re-election in 2028 instead of 2029 and serve only a 3-year term. But there's a twist. In New York, mayors have a 2 4-year term limit. However, this shortened 3-year term won't count under that limit. That also means whoever wins the election this fall could be eligible to serve 2 more 4-year terms, resulting in a total of an 11-year term. And in Fort Collins, Colorado, 2 competing measures are set to appear on the ballot to determine what to do with the now abandoned Colorado State football stadium. The first measure is citizen-initiated and designates the entire land as open natural space. The second is city-deferred and designates the land for mixed-use development, including residential and commercial development. It's a similar debate that's playing out in communities across the country, including in dozens of other ballot measures set to appear this fall. All in all, over 100 million eligible voters across the country have some ballot measure or proposal to vote on this November. And I encourage every single one of them to head to ballotready.org and do your research ahead of time. My name is Kunal, and as always, it's a privilege to do this.
Well, the one thing I'd like to say is in Texas, if you declare your home, as your homestead, that's your permanent residence, that it used to be you could claim on your taxes $100,000 deduction. Now it's $140,000 deduction. So that was a positive, that you can claim $140,000 towards your, and it's a tax write-off. And then the other thing, which I voted against, is they wanted more help at the border. And I'm like, we don't need no more help at the border. Y'all done did enough trouble down there. So that's why it's important, because it was like he's right, about 21 things on the ballot. I can't remember all of them that you need to go and you might be interested in, especially open carry, because people love their guns in Texas.
Yeah, and that's the thing with elections like this year, where it's not a midterm election and it's not a presidential election, is sometimes people stay home because they don't think it's as important. But this is still an important election, and all of these things matter. Like he mentioned with New York, they might want to move the election year from odd years to even years. And that could mean that someone like, if Zoran Mamdani hopefully gets elected, he could feasibly serve as mayor for 11 years instead of 8. And that's
And that would be
matters.
a blessing, especially the way he thinks, that he want to make it an affordable place that you can even take mass transit for no charge, and housing where the prices are just astronomical. I don't even know how people pay rent no more these days. The one thing I wanted to ask you about New York too is under the tunnel, what tunnel? What's the name of your tunnel there? The one that Donald Trump tried to freeze the funding to now, that he said because y'all voting for him down the Holland Tunnel, that because y'all won't do what he wants you to do. I don't know why he keep trying to bribe people. He's just used to, tit for that. What is it, pro quo? I can't say it by tongue.
Quid pro
quo.
Yeah.
That's what he keep trying to do with everybody, because you won't do this, we won't build a Holland Tunnel for you, and he need to stop that. If it's better for the people, let it be better for the people.
Well, and the thing about New York is, much like California, we send more money to the federal government than we get from the federal government, so we could just not pay the federal government.
And that's how I feel. I feel like, okay, well, I'll just keep our money too, because you're paying for the red state.
There's another video with details on the ballot measures that are on the ballot for this Tuesday.
Voters in several states will head to the polls this year to decide on governors, state legislators, local leaders, and even state Supreme Court justices. Let's take a closer look at what's on the ballot and why these races matter. 2 states are electing governors in 2025, Virginia and New Jersey. Let's start in Virginia. Democrat Abigail Spanberger and Republican Winsome Earl Sears are running to succeed outgoing Governor Glenn Youngkin, who is term limited. Spanberger represented Virginia's 7th congressional district from 2019 to 2025, while Earl Sears currently serves as lieutenant governor. Independent write-in candidate Donna Charles is also running. Virginia's gubernatorial election is often seen as the national bellwether. Since 1869, it's been held the year after each presidential election, offering a glimpse into voter sentiment nationwide. As of early October, race forecasters rate this election as either likely Democratic or lean Democratic. Virginia currently has a divided government. Republicans control the governorship, while Democrats hold the state Senate. If Democrats win the governor's office and maintain their legislative majority, they could gain a Democratic trifecta. There's a special election in Texas's 18th congressional district following the death of Representative Sylvester Turner in March 2025. The race features more than a dozen candidates, including Democrats Amanda Edwards, Christian Menefee, and Yolanda Jones, as well as several Republican, Green, and Independent contenders. The winner will finish Turner's term under the district's current boundaries, but the seat is set to be redrawn in 2026. That means voters could be heading back to the polls soon after this election to vote under new district lines. In Virginia, all 100 seats in the House of Delegates are up for election. Democrats currently hold a narrow 51 to 48 majority with one vacant seat. Republicans need to gain just 3 seats to take control of the chamber. Control of the Virginia legislature has flipped every 2 years since 2019, a rare pattern showing just how competitive the state has become. Both parties are treating this election as an early referendum on national politics heading into 2026. Ballotpedia has identified 23 battleground districts, with Democrats favored in 7 Republican-held seats, according to independent forecasts.
So, Virginia, we really need you to get out there and vote. It's important.
Mm-hmm.
The 100 delegates up for election.
Sylvester Turner, they have left his seat vacant for, it seemed like at least a year and a half right now. And he wasn't supposed to do that. But Greg Abbott has done his best to leave that vacant so that they could keep passing these laws or whatever. They're not laws, but whatever he's doing, they just stopping us from being where we need to be. And Representative Jones in Harris County, the lady that was on Don Lemon's show so many times, she's a very good person to take Sylvester Turner's seat, and I wish her well. I really do wish her well.
Yeah, I want to see her win too.
Mm-hmm.
She seems really passionate. She seems like she really cares.
Mm-hmm. And that's why we need those kind of people that care about children, seniors, and just everybody. We need people like that in our world.
I just want to play a little bit more of this video.
18 of the nation's 100 largest cities are holding mayoral elections this year, including Seattle, New York City, and Minneapolis. In Seattle, incumbent Bruce Harrell faces challenger Katie Wilson, the co-founder of the Transit Riders Union. Wilson led the primary with 51% of the vote, while Harrell received 41%. If reelected, Harrell would become Seattle's first 2-term mayor since 2009. In New York City, Democrat and Working Families Party candidate Zohran Mamdani faces Curtis Sliwa, the Republicans and Protect Animals Party candidate, and former Governor Andrew Cuomo, who's running under the Fight and Deliver Party. The race follows a closely watched primary where Mamdani defeated Cuomo in ranked choice voting. Issues like affordability, public safety, and national politics are central themes in this campaign. And in Minneapolis, Mayor Jacob Frey faces State Senator Omar Fateh in a competitive race highlighting divisions within Minnesota's Democratic Farmer Labor Party. The Minneapolis DFL initially endorsed Fateh, the first endorsement for a mayoral candidate since 2009, but later revoked it after disputes over the process. Elections in Minneapolis are officially nonpartisan, but candidates often identify with major political parties.
So again, so many important elections happening on Tuesday across the country. People have to go vote. I cannot say that enough. And I didn't know that the mayor of Minneapolis was nonpartisan. He doesn't have a party. That's pretty cool, actually.
You know, since the pandemic and we lost over 1 million people, we need to keep as many bodies here on this planet as we can. You know, we don't know what tomorrow brings. And Mamdani, I mean, like I said, he has good ideas.